Viewers, many parties make claims, but there are some that make claims louder than others. Which party more than others vows that it is secular to the core, that it's committed to establishing a firewall between the state and religion? Which party talks about the importance of all Indians being treated equally without fear or favor by the state? Which party talks about ensuring equality between religions? If your answer is the Congress party, then I want you to think hard about these few basic questions that I'm going to pose now, viewers. Why does a truly secular party oppose amendments to an act of parliament that gives only one religious community in India the power to take over lands? How is a secular party allowing its government in a state to give a free hand to a panel committed to purely promoting the religious interests of one denomination? And what is this secular party doing by privileging the interest of one denomination over another by facilitating land acquisitions without due process? These questions have become necessary and they must be posed because today your channel, CNN News 18, has accessed the proof to show how lands of farmers have been usurped. In my hands, viewers, is the proof, the documentary evidence to show that land has been usurped virtually overnight by the Waqf board without giving notice to the land tillers or even allowing them the basic courtesy of conducting a hearing to listen to their defense. In fact, this is not a courtesy. This is a mandated procedure set down in the law in any rule or law-abiding regime. If someone is wanting to acquire something you possess, they have to submit a notice and then they have to wait for you to contest it. But clearly, this is not happening in a pocket of Karnataka under the Congress state administration, viewers, because these documents in my hand and to the right of your screens are land records. And they tell us that out of the blue, overnight, the Waqf board's name has been inserted in these land records. Virtually overnight, the RTC, or which is the rights, tenancy and crop records, have been changed to include the Waqf board. Again, overnight, viewers. The farmer doesn't know, he doesn't even get a notice, and neither, viewers, obviously if he doesn't get a notice, does he get the right to repeal. Third, viewers, the documents tell us that the Waqf board has been included in records of over 40 properties, significant land holdings. The Waqf board has been included in records without notice to farmers. The Waqf board was inserted in records 2 days after officials met the state Waqf minister, Zamir Khan. He's also the minority affairs minister of the state, viewers. The BJP has gone on the warpath. Many others are asking questions linking the state government to what it terms as an anti-farmer, anti-Hindu mindset of the Congress government in Karnataka. Shahzad Poonawalla, the national spokesperson, has come out and said Congress wants to steal land and give it to its vote bank. Congress is anti-farmer, and that is why it is opposing amendments to the Waqf Act. Karnataka Chief Minister is responsible for this brazen corruption. Clear signs that local officials were threatened to change land ownership. The Waqf has become the special purpose instrument for Congress to grab lands of farmers, unquote. This is a very, very damning indictment, albeit by the opposition party of the Congress government in the state. Caught out the Congress state government, realizing that it was being accused of also selling the interests of farmers that it professes to secure across the country. The government sought to play down the takeover of the land, putting them down to lapses. Here is Krishna Baire Gowda, Karnataka Revenue Minister, and he says land mutation has happened with 41 properties. The tehsildars should have given notices, but that did not happen. It is a procedural lapse. So viewers, he says this is a procedural lapse. And he goes on to say the land mutations stand cancelled. There should be no attempts to spread confusion, unquote. Now viewers, had your channel not acquired these documents, had your channel, viewers, not put out this story, this travesty would have continued without question. And because your channel has accessed footage from a Waqf Adalat, where the Karnataka Minister for Minority Affairs is heard putting pressure on the local administration to up the pace of land notified by Waqf Board for acquisition, we know there is more to this than just a clerical lapse. Listen in, viewers.
कुछ सालों से 10-15 साल से खाते बनाने के वास्ते दिए थे 80 पर एक अर्जियां खाते क्या खाता बनाना कर को आको है 330 पर 8 अर्जियां हमने टोटल यहाँ आज बीजापुर के अंदर टोटल 330 पर 8 अर्जियां यहाँ आको ही हमने हमें जो वफ़ अदालत कर रही खाली तुमने अर्जियां ले ले को जाको डस्टबिन में डालने के वास्ते ये वफ़ अदालत नहीं कर रही। वफ़ अदालत के बाद क्या करते हमें दूसरे दिन कंसल्ट डिपार्टमेंट की मीटिंग करती, उनको 1 महीने का डेडलाइन देती हमें, हमारे प्रॉब्लम है 1 महीने के अंदर तुम्हें सॉल्व करना अगर को। जैसा कि बिदर के अंदर टोटल हमने 60 पर 7 खाते दिए थे, 380 पर 7 खाते के की पेंडिंग थे, तुम्हें यकीन नहीं मानते 310 खाते बना को हैंड ओवर हमने कर डाली। टोटल हमें वफ़ अदालत करने के बाद टोटल हमारे किसके अंदर वफ़ अदालत करने के बाद टोटल 727 खाते बना को ही।
So viewers, first time on record, there is talk of 700 land transfers that have to be effected within a deadline. Now the Congress may be giving the benefit of the doubt for the so-called lapse. There's no doubt that the party has backed this crackdown by the Waqf Board. This backing is very much in line with a pattern of favor shown by the Congress regimes, by many regimes, even at the center, to the Waqf. And let me, viewers, bring out the hard facts. And on this show, unlike any other show at prime time, viewers, the hard facts speak for themselves with fidelity to the truth so that you can get closer to the facts of the matter. You can separate the wheat from the chaff. Now, the first instance, viewers. Under Congress government in 1995, remember the Narasimha Rao government? The Waqf Act of 1954 was changed to give the board unlimited powers to acquire land. This happened in 1995. The question is, was this a lapse too? Section 85 of the Waqf Act of 1995 places the onus of proving land ownership on the owner. Failure to do so shall lead to the forfeiture of the land to the Waqf Board. Was this a lapse too, viewers? Here's another instance. Section 8 of the Waqf Act of 1995 says that total cost of surveying land will be borne by the state government. Now viewers, this is an abuse, a complete abuse of power and most importantly of secularism as enshrined in the Constitution. Why should the state be paying for any act by any religion or any religious body? Think about that, viewers. Was this a lapse too? Here's another instance. Section 40 of the Waqf Act 1995 empowers the Waqf boards to determine whether a property is a Waqf asset. Was this also a lapse too, giving unbridled powers? The day before the Model Code of Conduct kicked in, before 2014 LS polls, the UPA handed 123 prime properties in Delhi to the Waqf Board. Some of them were managed by the LNDO, viewers, and these were in the heart of the city, some even in Lutyens, Delhi. Was this also a lapse, a clerical lapse? Viewers, there is a pattern here. And the sooner we call it out, the better it is for those who are going to be affected by these changes, which are akin to basically, viewers, land grab. Let's open this up. Let's ask some fundamental questions, and I want to begin with Tehseen Poonawalla, who is representing the Congress point of view, Atikur Rahman, Islamic scholar, who is somebody who favors the Waqf Act. Now, Tehseen Poonawalla, the Congress party apart from pointing out all these alleged lapses over the years, the Congress party also opposes, the Waqf bill that is being brought in to correct all these. But before I get to that, I want to ask you, you have a minister on record who is hustling the administration to take over land. In some places, he's even saying, I'll hold you to account if you miss the deadlines. The Congress says, oh, you know, this is all part of procedure, process, this, that, the other. How is it, sir, when you even have the minister endorsing a few weeks before this bill is perhaps going to be scrapped, this takeover?
Thank you, Rahul. Good evening, and thank you for having me on the show. There are three essential components which have been conveniently mixed up to make it sound deliberately, perhaps, as if Congress is favoring a particular religion. So let's understand which of these three issues are. Number one, kudos to you and your investigative team of your channel. But it wasn't, but the records were kept transparently out. It was a gazetted order, as both Krishna Bairegowda and MB Patil have put it out. It was only 11 acres which were a gazetted error, and they have been rectified. So this was put transparently before the people. It's been rectified, and there's no controversy there. Let's come to the larger issue. The Waqf bill is being opposed by the Congress. No, there is no Waqf bill. One is either pregnant or not pregnant. If there is no pregnancy, there is you cannot oppose something that isn't there. There isn't a bill. There is something being discussed right now in a parliamentary committee, in a joint parliamentary committee. It's not before Parliament. So the question of a political party, any political party opposing or no, can only happen when you have a bill. You, Rahul, I, or no one here has a draft copy of a bill. So why is it being made out that the Congress is opposing something that isn't before the people or the public or the Parliament? Which comes to the last and the third and most important and pertinent question. The minister said to bureaucrats, as per the law, what needs to be notified within a particular, which were Waqf land, which was around 1.12 lakh acres, which was previously managed, now down to 23,860 acres. Please do the needful. This is according to the law. What part about this is illegal? But I'll tell you where the BJP is doing politics in this. In the Muzrai department, which actually manages religious endowment land, 748 acres of land faces encroachment. This is our Hindu fellow citizens' lands. Why does the BJP not speak about it? Because the only thing the BJP wants to do before the Maharashtra polls is a fake Hindu-Muslim narrative for 11 acres, which has fallen flat on their face.
It's not actually 11 acres. This is one instance, and I don't remember the state government, unless you can point it out to me, Mr. Poonawalla, that the state government held a press conference to clarify that this was quote-unquote a lapse before today, before this story broke on this channel. Now, one second, Mr. Rahman, one second. Hold your horses.
I'll explain to you why they did that.
Yeah, why didn't you act, sir?
I'll tell you why they did that. I'll just take a second to explain to you why they did that.
Yeah.
They did that because of a fake narrative before the Maharashtra elections spread by the BJP that land of Hindus was being given to Muslims. That's how the BJP was manipulating it. And you do not want a polarization in Maharashtra elections. So they have come on record, responsible ministers, and put the records out in front of the people of Karnataka and the people of India. And there, bang, it's worked. Nobody has anything now to say. And it's good that the Congress has countered this aggressively.
Okay, viewers, look at how the goalposts have changed. Look at, one second, Atikur Rahman, calm down, relax, look straight, don't get distracted. Now calm down. Yes. Now viewers, let me tell you. Look at how the goalposts are changing. Last week when we broke this story, we were told that, yes, these notices have gone out. They have gone out because the district collectors are acting autonomously. Then viewers, we bring in evidence to suggest, no, the farmers were saying that all of this action began to unravel on the ground after the Minorities Affairs Minister landed up in this district and then held a meeting with all the officials. This, viewers, I have already shown you on record. And he said, hurry it up, friends. We're not going to wait. These adalats are not going to happen in the thin air. Get cracking. So viewers, quaking in their shoes, these DCs, etc., start issuing notices. And not to one person, not to two people, viewers. 1,500 acres of land in just one tehsil. Apparently, this extends to thousands of acres. And we have the proof of that also. Then, viewers, we bring out this document, and guess what? We are told by Tehseen Poonawalla, all of this is known. It's all transparently done, this, that, the other. And then he says, don't make it Hindu and Muslim. Well, viewers, the Waqf Act is a Muslim organization. There is no way of not taking this fact into account. So who's making it Hindu-Muslim? You think about it. By empowering an organization such as this, viewers, out of the blue. But nonetheless, I'm not here to defend the BJP. I'm just here to set the facts. And I want to bring in Pradeep Bhandari. 3 accusations. He says, it's just a small amount, 11 acres. This is what the Karnataka government has said. Why are you getting your knickers in a twist? The Waqf bill, he says, nothing around. No one is opposing anything. We're in a JPC. Conversation is taking place. And in that conversation, we are registering some of our opposition to the proposed amendments. And the Muzrai department, you heard his charge, 748 acres, and you haven't done anything about it.
Well, Rahul, first of all, I congratulate your team for standing with the farmers of Karnataka. Now, I understand that Tehseen Poonawalla will consider it as a petty issue because for a party in Congress in Karnataka where 1,200 farmers have committed suicide in the last 15 months, Rahul, farmers' land being snatched by an illegal land mafia like Waqf, after Zamir Ahmed's instructions to the district officials and his meeting, all of it cannot just happen in isolation. It has to be connected, and a logical and a wise man will connect the dots. Now, let me tell you who made Waqf Hindu-Muslim. And I want to read the essential amendment which the Congress party did to the Waqf Act in 2013, and I quote it. Earlier, the Waqf could be was permanent dedication by a person professing Islam. The Congress party changed it to permanent dedication by any person. On that premise, the Waqf started to behave as a land mafia, and as per the Indian Express, which Tehseen Poonawalla believes in, a day before the Model Code of Conduct was applied in March 2014, they transferred more than 100 properties of Delhi based on this amendment. So the essential characteristic of Waqf appeasing was made by Tehseen Poonawalla's party. Number 2, it was not normally changed, Rahul. The farmers protested, you reported, that is where the Congress party had to act. Now, is this in isolation? No, it is not in isolation. Even in Hyderabad, where the Congress party is in power, the Waqf has laid claim. We remember how the Waqf has laid claim to multiple properties. Now, is the Congress party a fair party? I disagree to it. You are the person who reported about the Hubli riots, how the Congress party took back the cases against the AIMIM leaders who were involved in the Hubli riots despite the opposition of the police forces. So we have seen in the past how Congress party has gone the extra mile in order to appease its vote bank. And here the farmers are at the mercy of the Congress party. My question is, this is the picture and I want to show. Zamir Ahmed is not a normal man, Rahul. He is extremely close to Siddaramaiah. Are you telling me when he instructs the officials, the district officials to hurry things up and overnight the changes happen, it could have happened without Mr. Siddaramaiah's knowledge? I disagree to that. Knowing the characteristic of Mr. Siddaramaiah, whose family itself is a land grabber in the Muda scam, we know how Mr. Kharge's family trust had grabbed the land. So the Congress party is an official land grabber in Karnataka, and this time the farmers are at mercy. Thanks to the reporting by the investigative journalists, this has been caught.
Okay, now viewers, look, this can't just be that when the lapse is brought to the notice, you return the land. Mr. Siddaramaiah's wife said, I'll return the land.
True.
Mr. Kharge's son said, I'll also return the land. Now the government is saying, we'll return the land. Viewers, it's as if someone has had a birthday party and they're giving return presents. This is bizarre. This is not a birthday party, viewers.
May I address that? May I address that?
No. I mean, everyone is just, when they get caught out by investigative journalists, you return everything. As if oh, sorry, you know, we overlooked a couple of rules.
On the behalf of the Chief Minister.
No, one second. Let me open this up. I'll bring you back in. Dushyant Sridhar, I want to ask you.
I just need one.
Okay, yeah, okay. Go ahead. आपके लिए भी exception है, sir. Congress party के लिए बना देते हैं.
No, just one line. The chief minister is not returning the land. His wife is returning the land.
I said so.
What
the
is
chief
not
minister's
disputed in
wife.
that case is that
I said the chief minister's wife is returning.
What is not
the land.
disputed?
Yeah.
Yes, may I please finish?
Yeah.
What is not disputed in that case is the land allotted to her by the Mudda authority was under the BJP government. Their members were sitting on that board who allotted her those 14
Right.
pieces of land.
Sir,
they legally took away her brother's land that her brother gifted her 20 years ago.
Yes.
None of that is being disputed. Despite that, a controversy that the BJP made to spoil an OBC
If that
chief
was the
minister's
case,
name
Rahul,
from
why
the
did they
Shepherd
oppose the
Kurba
governor's
community.
sanction to an
They have
investigation?
decided to
Well,
return the
that-
land.
They were so honest,
And
why
yet
did
the
they
chief
oppose the
minister's got
governor's
correct.
Okay, no
sanction to
cross-talk,
an investigation?
gentlemen. Yes.
He's shifting the goalpost
No,
because
one
you have
second, one
exposed his anti-farmer mindset.
One second,
Tehseen
one
needs
second,
to
just one
apologize
second, one
to the
second.
people of Karnataka for calling
Okay.
the farmers' land grabbing as a petty issue.
1 second. Yeah. So I'm coming to that. That is the question I wanted to
No,
bring
one
in.
second.
One second,
The
please.
Chief Minister's wife was
One
being
second.
dragged. An
One
OBC Chief Minister's wife is being dragged
One
into
second,
this
please.
show
Let's not.
on the
let's
Waqf
not-
issue.
No, let us not now.
Why is that happening?
Let us not digress. The fact is,
Why aren't we answering
every
who
time.
allotted those 14
One
pieces of
second,
land? The
Tehseen Punawala.
BJP.
Okay, are we going to deprive two other gentlemen who've also made time at the top of this show their time? Please, let's not do that. I'll come back to you. Hold your horses. You said a 30-second intervention, and I've given you that time. But there is Dushyant
Thank you so
Sridhar,
much. I appreciate
and there is also Atikur Rahman. They're both there. Now, Dushyant Sridhar, look. Someone said, petty issue. They used the word, I didn't. Playing fast and loose with the Constitution is not a petty issue. Giving unbridled powers through an amendment or an act in 1995 to the Waqf, to give it these sweeping powers only because some say vote bank politics is not a petty issue, at least not in my book.
Namaskaram Rahul and namaskaram to all my fellow panelists. Wishing everybody a very advanced happy Deepavali, and how these Western so-called Indic scholars would say Diwali is about darkness to light. And I beg to differ. For the farmers in the Vijayapura taluk in my very home state of Karnataka, it is not Deepavali because they are moving from light to darkness. Their 1,200 acres of land, all these farmers were served notices stating that this land doesn't belong to you and you will have to produce documents. Rahul, tell me, honestly, all of us have houses. How many years document can be produced? 50? 100? And I would like to bring to your notice, Rahul, we are talking about the acres of land for the farmers who will be completely disillusioned about the rigmarole of documents that they have. In the 6th century, we had a temple of Tiruchendurai in Tamil Nadu, which was being sung by a great mystic poet called Thiruñana Sambandar in the chaste Tamil language. And that temple, which was renovated by Parantaka Chola, Aditya Chola, Rajendra Chola, in every inscription, there are 50 inscriptions in the temple. And in every inscription, the king says, I am a servant of Isha, which is Shiva. And that large temple, which has been sung in the 5th and the 6th century, even before Islam was born, you won't believe. That temple, which is 1,500 years old, Waqf board is claiming the temple is theirs. I'm quoting verbatim. Abdul Rahman, it has come in the federal, please check. Abdul Rahman, the head of the Tamil Nadu Waqf board, has refuted Minister Rijiju's claim. He says, quote, the entire village would measure up to 800 to 900 acres and Waqf property covers about 480 acres. The 1,500-year-old temple is on Waqf property. There is no harm in having a temple on Waqf land. And the definition for Waqf as per the Acts is once a property is given in the name of Allah, it is a property of Allah. Why can't I apply this rule to Shiva? When the temple has been built for Lord Shiva, it is a property of Shiva. It cannot be donated, given or snatched by anybody. So you're talking about the farmer's poor land there. I'm talking about a 1,500-year-old Shiva temple which is claimed to be on Waqf property. And the last point, Rahul, I'm sure there's another panelist waiting. Shri Tehseen Punawala did say that there is an election coming up. So there is this issue which is raked up. The issue that I'm talking about, Tiruchendurai village, has no relation to Maharashtra elections. It is about 8 months old. And if at all, we should never rake up issues just because elections are coming. We can never rake up issues because until that one nation, one election comes, every 2 months we will have an election.
Well, let me flip the question. has the order been given by the Karnataka government to quickly pull in all these properties, if you're talking about timing, viewers, to quickly allow the Waqf to collect properties before the bill is introduced in Parliament in a couple of months? If we are just talking about timings, etc., and motivations linked to timings. Let me just open this up and bring in the Islamic scholar Atikur Rahman. Mr. Rahman, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of what exactly is happening in Karnataka. I just want to ask you, do you believe any community should be denied the authority that the Waqf vests in the Muslim community, sir?
Well, Rahul, since the beginning, I am maintaining that the Waqf Amendment Bill by the BJP in the Parliament has been primarily brought because there was neck-deep corruption into all the Waqf boards. I have no qualms accepting that the Congress, their yes men, the chairmen of the Waqf boards, their officials, all of them have grabbed land. They were into, land mafia. And this is why every time the Muslims claimed any of the properties, and this has come to light recently when the BJP reported, but we are suffering from this. We are suffering from this since more than 2-3 decades. Mr. Tehseen Poonawalla, I do not know whether he is speaking specifically of the Karnataka farmers or he is speaking on the whole. I am speaking on the whole. Second important point is, Rahul, that since it has been established that all Congress governments and even the BJP governments, wherever their chief ministers are, the chairman, though he was a Muslim, but in the Waqf boards, besides that the land and the property has been given by a Muslim in Allah's name, there was nothing Islamic in it. There was nothing Muslim in it. So I would request all channels and all platforms to please detach the name of Islam and Muslims from the Waqf boards. And I have a very deep concern regarding this. That since 1938, Rahul, there are 2,000 amendments to this Waqf board. And all 2,000 amendments have increased the powers of the government, not the Muslim community. The Muslim community per se has never gained out of any Waqf boards. Now the question is, if the farmers' land or the temple land are being usurped, then I would ask the question to any of your panelists, if it is established that this land is a Waqf land, can it be sold or bought? It cannot be.
No, it can't be. But one second. Oh, 1 second. You can still misuse it. You can do other things with it, as you know. But I didn't ask you that question. I didn't want to get into the nitty-gritties of the Waqf Act, section, whatever, the contemplation, the constitution of the board, etc., etc. I'm asking you a simple question. If there is one community that has this right, shouldn't the Hindu community also have this right to reclaim, for example, all its places of worship, to go out there and say, okay, denotatively, this piece of land belongs to Lord Shiva, that one belongs to Lord Krishna, that one belongs to Goddess Durga, and therefore we are taking it over?
Why not, Rahul? Is there no Hindu Endowment Act?
Okay, so then let me ask you. No, sir, it's very different. So let me ask you then. Let me ask you this question. And this is an important question. Do you support the repealing of the Places of Worship Act?
Yeah, I give 100% to this government that immediately it should be repealed. Why it is not repealed? I have asked thousands of times that why the BJP is playing with the whims and fancies.
No, I'm asking you. Forget about what the BJP should do. I'm asking you, should the Places of Worship Act be repealed so that we can reclaim, the community can reclaim places that it believes are disputed? Simple question, sir. I can't hear you, sir. Something has gone wrong with your signal.
Immediately it should be repealed, Rahul. It should have been repealed before the Ayodhya judgment.
So, Tehseen Poonawalla, why did you bring it in? He's saying it should be repealed to bring equality. Why did you guys bring it in? Why did the Congress bring it in? To make the playing field unequal. And if you were, sir, then wasn't this an abuse of the article of faith of the Constitution. Very simple.
Bring which bill in? The Places of Worship Act?
Yes, sir.
So ask the current government to repeal it.
No, I'm asking you.
The Supreme
No,
Court
you
has
can't
asked
get
the
away.
current union.
Just 1 minute.
I'll answer that. I'll answer that in two parts. Two parts. The Supreme Court has asked the current government on 6 occasions on the POW Act. And Tushar Mehta said, I can tell you my personal opinion. They refuse to put anything on record. That's point number 1. Point number 2, the Places of Worship Act is part of the, in my opinion, the basic structure of the Constitution. It is something that cannot be changed. But if the government believes it can, it should bring in a law and let it be debated in Parliament. But they won't do that.
No.
They will instead do
viewers,
politics over it.
No, I want
Now,
to ask you.
in
No,
its wisdom,
1 minute.
Parliament-
1 minute.
Please allow
How
me,
can
please
it be?
allow
No,
me.
1 second. Atikur Rahman Saab says it should be scrapped because it differentiates between communities. How does that make it part of the basic structure of the Constitution? The basic structure
It
of the
actually does
Constitution
not
tells us.
differentiate.
Okay. Please go ahead.
May I please answer that?
Yeah.
It actually does not differentiate between communities. So even if hypothetically a Muslim claims ownership of a Hindu temple post 1947 and has or claims to have evidence that this was a mosque pre 1947, they cannot claim it. The POW
No, but you
stops
have an
that.
exception.
It
You have the
stops
Waqf
every
Act, sir.
religion from growing,
No,
everything except for the Ram
That's
Janmabhoomi.
that is, viewers, the problem. Because while you have the Places of Worship Act that prevents communities from taking over each other's land, which is obviously on the face of it a very secular, non-discriminatory act, you have, viewers, the Waqf Act of 1954 originally, which was then made even more watertight, which gives the Muslim community the right to notify any land. And after that, any person, not just the Muslim community, any person. So viewers, here is the problem. This is the thing that people don't understand. An allowance was made for one community to get around the Places of Worship Act. And then they tell us that the Places of Worship Act is the touchstone of constitutional secularism. Viewers, this is the problem. And who knows how it is manifesting itself in the state of Karnataka today? Because there is a series of decisions that have been taken right from the budget. I don't need to enumerate them, viewers, here. We've done enough stories for you over the last few days, months, weeks, bringing out disparities. Clearly there is a pattern. And the government, let me tell you, would not have given back, corrected these lapses, had we not brought out this story. 44 farmers, maybe more, we don't know, would have actually be today, viewers, disenfranchised from their lifeline, their land. And this is a party that promises uplift of farmers, to safeguard their interests to their last living breath. Now, viewers, that is hypocrisy. I want to move on